Welcome, welcome, welcome to The Winning Hand, the podcast about Marvel Champions, one card at a time. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. My name is, of course, Boom Guy, and this is episode 98. We are closing in on a century of episodes. I have with me today two special guests and Lazy Titan. How's it going, Lazy Titan?
It's me, the not-so-special guest.
I mean, you know. I also have with me special first-time guest, Castle Frank 47. What's up, man?
How's it going, everybody?
Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here. We also have Andy R. Andy, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
So before we get too far, let me just say, if you have been following along with all the episodes, I did recently announce that we were going to be adding a permanent third co-host, and that is Andy R. So Andy R., I think, is known. He's been on the show a few times, and we did an offshoot series called All Hands on Decks. So, Andy, welcome back to the show. Anything you want to say to the people as you start your season 4 with us here?
I can't believe it took you this long to get me on. No, I'm kidding. I'm super excited to get to hang out week in, week out, and I get to talk about this game.
Yes, you are a degenerate like the rest of us, and I'm excited to hear all your takes.
And hopefully to bring in some ally love. It's needed.
Hopefully not. Welcome to our not-so-special guest, Andy R.
Oh, man. I already lost the privilege.
I mean, you're old news now.
Yeah, I mean, Lazy Titan is a signature ally. I'm stuck with him, but you're just an aspect ally.
Well,
we could lose you
I don't know
anytime.
about being called an ally, but it's fine.
Okay,
more like
well,
a main
seriously,
scheme, I would say. But
thanks for sitting through that intro, everybody. You certainly had time to leave a 5-star review on your platform of choice while you were listening to that, so I hope you did that. That does help the show quite a bit. Thank you in advance for doing so. All right, so today's show, we have episode 98. We are talking about Chance Encounter, which is special for a number of reasons, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Before we get there, though, I want to get a chance to introduce our special guest, Castle Frank, who I only know so far from Marvel CDB, of Marvel CDB fame, we could even say. So thanks for coming on the show. I have a few quick questions for you, Castle Frank. Before we get to that, why don't you tell us who you are in this community and what it is you do around here?
I would say I'm just a deck builder. I really got into the game. I'm a huge superhero nerd. Love Marvel, love DC, love it all. I grew up playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, went to tournaments and did stuff like that. And when I found out there was a card game that merged my love for deck building and superheroes, I was all over it. And so really what I like to do is I like to build things that are different. I don't want to build something that's going to win every single game. Obviously, that's the intent. But I like finding different combos. I like finding uses for the underutilized cards. I like finding uses for underutilized heroes, really any of it. I just enjoy the deck building part of the game. And you'll see that with, some of the heroes that I tend to build for. It's because they're versatile. They can build into whatever play style you want to. That's what I enjoy. So
yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, that sums it up. Superheroes and deck building. Shut up and take my money, FFG. Say less.
Sounds like a cool game.
Okay, so let's ask you a few quick questions, and I'm going to invert the order that I normally ask these questions in because I'm going to finish with the one I usually ask first. So let's start with the last question I usually ask, which is, what's your favorite and or most played player count?
My favorite, I would say, is probably... I haven't played much multiplayer. I haven't played a 4-player game yet. I've played some 3-player. Typically, I play 2-handed. I played true solo for the longest time, which is, I think, where, to be honest, a lot of the people that were following my decks, it was people who played solo, because that's what I was building for. Everything I built was designed to be able to withstand as many scenarios as possible in true solo. I would say 2-handed is definitely my most played now. That's really all I do. I do enjoy the upper player counts, but most of what I play is 2-handed.
What is your favorite aspect?
Favorite aspect?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, anything but pool.
Anything but pool. Okay.
Anything but pool.
Pool's just too restrictive. I like some of what it has. I think putting cards like Healing Factor with people, doing things like grabbing the different weapons and getting Side Holster out and having Venom out there with his multi-gun and laser swords, entertaining stuff like that. It's fun, but there's just too few cards to build different decks around. It's bounced around a lot. I would say if I really had to sit down and pick one, it'd be Protection.
Okay.
Just because there's a lot of access to readies for heroes who don't have it. And defending has grown on me a lot. I used to hate it when I started. When I first started playing, it was all about attack, remove threat, and that was it. No defending. And as the game has progressed more and there's become more cards that have kind of centered around that, I've been defending decks. So I would say protection, I guess, if I really had to pick.
Interesting. I think I've gone in the opposite direction. I used to defend a lot, and now I mostly just take shots to the face and use my actions for other stuff. So
Also where I'm at.
I've been on kind of the inverse journey. At what point did you get into the game? Like, what was the content that was newest when you jumped in?
I think when I first started was right after Galaxy's Most Wanted had come out. And initially I was like, I'll just get a couple heroes. And I think it took me all of a couple weeks to buy everything that was out. And I took a small hiatus right before Mutant Genesis came out. And then when I came back, I've been pretty much back in it ever since. Initially, I started out, I'm just going to get the heroes I like. And then the deck builder in me was like, well, but now I don't have that aspect card. Now I don't have that aspect card. So now,
a classic.
Characters like Cyclops, I've never liked him in the animated shows growing up. I wasn't going to get him, but I needed his aspect cards, and now he's one of my favorite X-Men. So it's one of my favorite things about this game is there's heroes that I really, really didn't like as characters, whether it's comics or shows, that I love playing their character in the game because they've made them true to the character and made them fun for a card game.
Yeah, totally agree. I totally agree with that. What's your favorite scenario to play?
Favorite scenario? I love Project Wide Awake. I play it. Every deck I test plays against that a lot. That one and ESN are probably the two I play most, and Sabanur. I like throwing in different mods for him, but the changing between the forms and having to deal with Retaliate or Stalwart really throws a wrench in a lot of different deck building. And then Project Wide Awake's just so much fun. The penalty for having to chump block I love it. It restricts one of the easiest ways to game a scenario.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that what you used a lot for whenever you were building some of those gunboat diplomacy decks? Because there was a time there, like I kind of expected you to say Justice was your favorite aspect because they're like a lot of your decks at gunboat, and you were nailing that card so well.
It was a big factor. Again, Gunboat, that was back when I was really playing solo. And so Gunboat opened up the ability to remove a lot of threat and deal a lot of damage in one. And then when you paired it with other characters who had access to readies, like Colossus having limitless stamina, or X-23, you could have her hit Gunboat and then use Grim Resolve, ready her up, remove even more threat or more damage, whichever you needed to at the time. It was just a super versatile card. The mutants are probably my favorite. I love a lot of the mutants. They're in most of my top 10 are mutants, and they nailed those alliance cards. I hope we see more of them for different traits down the line. Defenders are coming out. It would have been really cool to see some Avenger ones. Maybe we'll still get that. But I just thought it was really cool to have cards that impacted several of both your hero and your ally, or just allies, and be affordable whether you're playing single player or multiplayer.
Yeah. Well, now we've arrived at the big question that I really want you to answer, which is, who's your favorite hero to play?
X-23.
Ooh.
Yep.
Tell me about why you like X-23 so much.
No. Why? Just the versatility. I've played her in every kind of deck that I can think of. Threat removal, going for massive damage, one-turn kills, defending. Playing her with Angel's Airy is crazy in protection. You can defend 2-3 times a turn easily, and then just flip down and heal it all back. Use Ready for a Fight, go right back into it. Just super versatile. And no other character has an interaction like her with her signature ally. Her and Honey Badger is just one, thematic, and two, no one else has that going on for them. Not in the way that they do it.
Okay, well now there's a lot hanging on this last question. Where are you at with Vision?
Where am I at with Vision?
He left the hardest question for last.
Yeah. I mean,
kind of bearing the lead there.
I'm gonna have to. That might be a better question off camera. Boom guy.
Oh no.
No, I recently played Vision. I was trying to play some heroes that I haven't played much lately, and I just need to try some different decks for him. I haven't really ventured too far with him. The last one I tried was a protection. Basically just abusing getting Vivian back and using reboot and things like that. That's fun, but it kind of got old, and I haven't found a lot of unique builds for him, but I also haven't, to be honest, tried very hard, nor have I really played very many of the great decks that have been put out by people who have played him. He's just not one of my heroes that I go to.
It's too bad. You got to try him out. I mean, reboot you mentioned. That's like limitless stamina, but better just for
Yeah.
vision. It's just so good. Just being able to ready yourself and heal a little bit. I've talked about vision a lot, so I'm not going to go on here, but I was just curious where you're at with him. Let's talk about what we've been playing recently before we get to the card of the day. So, Andy R., I haven't heard much from you today. Why don't you start and tell me what you've been playing recently?
Yeah, so especially for what time it is I don't know, the con is wherever
Time.
it is to this
The con
episode.
just happened like a
Time,
week ago.
space, reality, the
all the same,
Infinity
really.
Stones.
The Infinity Stones?
So it's been a lot of playing with those heroes, the ones that are gonna come with me or the ones that I've already played with. And so that's where I think right now I just got done playing with Black Widow and Justice, which ironically was also the one I was playing last time you had me on. It's making the return. And then the other is Scarlet Witch in Protection. And the kind that uses her ability to do damage mitigation. And that has been strangely fun. I will say I'm disappointed that the games aren't accumulating a ton of the tokens that add a threat. I don't know what's going on with my brain today. Acceleration tokens. But, you know, I'll forego that because it does a good job. You still get to play Wanda. She has a ton of economy. It's been a lot of fun to play that. And then been testing it against Magneto with Bomb Scare, which is an odd mix, but honestly lets you enjoy Magneto an awful lot. Like, it is mostly Magneto cards that you interact with. I'm actually a huge fan of that combo.
Okay, interesting. Castle Frank, what have you been playing recently?
I mentioned it. I've been playing a lot of heroes that I haven't played a whole lot of, and trying to bring stuff. You know, a lot of people know what the decks I've built. There's a lot of Psylocke decks, a lot of mutant decks, so I'm trying to build some other things. I've been trying Nova out and doing some Unleash Nova Force type things in Justice, which was a lot of fun, using like Infiltration, running into Stealth Strike, then getting the readies, and then just having stuff like multitasking to remove threat from multiple schemes, setting yourself up for another ready, stuff like that. Obviously, I've had a couple that I've posted recently. X-23 with Deathclaw, or with Deathcry, I should say. That was the name of the deck, Deathclaw. That was a lot of fun. Just an extra way to ready X-23. Like I said, every card that comes out, I'm like, how can X-23 use that? How can Psylocke use that? And more often than not, you can find a use for it. It's pretty rare that you can't. Other than that, I've got a Storm one I've been playing. Revisited her, hadn't played her in a while. It's just an aggression deck, using Thunderstorm, but using some of the newer allies like Winter Soldier, giving him honorary X-Men, and then kind of helping out with minion control. The deck does not for anything. It is 100% for aggression and dealing damage.
That's fine.
But between the allies, playing somebody like Marrow for 2 resources, 3 resources, and getting 4 or 5 damage out of her just from her basic attack is pretty awesome. And then hitting Thunderbolt in the same turn is pretty easy to accumulate 30-40 damage in a turn and just kind of wipe out a whole phase of a villain. That's the main stuff I've been playing lately.
All right. LT, I mean, I was going to go next, but Castle Frank was talking about so much damage. I feel like it's a natural segue right into you.
Natural segue right into
you're
me,
the damage guy.
which is, of course, when I tell you that I have been playing just...
What?
Go on. The people are intrigued.
Wherever the con exists in the nebulous timeline of
It happened a
the
week ago.
world, time's kind of a circle. We don't know if it was a week ago. It could have been yesterday. It could be tomorrow.
next week.
It could be
We don't
next
know.
week. We don't know. At any point, it'll happen at a point in time that either has happened or will.
Don't worry about it.
And where I am at my current point in time is preparing for the con, and I have been testing a lot of Colossus Injustice.
Okay.
Because I have committed to Team Beefcake being one of each aspect.
I love it.
To prove to the people that it is a mindset thing. So I can do damage in any aspect. But I've been trying him out in a lot of Injustice, which I like. I like Colossus Injustice. That's usually my favorite way to play him because it's fun to be able to flip down and not just be useless and not need the armor up to come out to not mess up your turn. So you can flip down every turn, and you have a couple ways to switch and do crazy stuff. And a lot of these new Nick Fury cards I've been trying out, but it's fun. I like it. I'm coming together on a final list for the con that may or may not have happened at some point, maybe in the future, possibly in the past, and I'm having a good time.
Lazy Titan may or may not have spoiled it. The con may or may not have happened at this point. We don't know. As you're listening to this, it did already happen.
But we all had a great time.
Yes, that's the important part.
We had a great time. What happened?
That's not, you don't, maybe you remember it, maybe you don't.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know who you people are.
Everything is meaningless. So I've been playing a few things recently, things that I either will bring to the con or will have brought to the con. We don't know.
Things that are, things that were.
I've been playing a lot of Wasp Justice recently. I've mentioned before I'm a big Wasp fan. I really like Wasp a lot. I think she is good in all aspects. I think she has really good builds in all of them. I've been on record saying she's my favorite of the triple form heroes. There aren't that many, but I think Wasp is really great. That's not just because I like crap heroes. I think Wasp is actually really fun. It has really viable builds.
You do know Angel is a 3-form card, right?
That's 100% true. Yes.
Oh man.
And you could make a bunch of the triple form heroes and she'd still be the best.
Cool.
So I've been working on a build with her basic. I did a build a few months ago with Aggression using Savage Strike to spread her damage around in giant form because she can spread it. I'm doing the same thing with her Injustice, trying to spread that around using different things. You know, if you use things like, obviously there's the upgrades that can boost her. You know, her helmet gives her +1 in giant form. The heroic intuition and conditioning can give her +2 more. So that's already 5. You can get higher things like multitasking. But if you use like multitasking, you can spread it around and you can just clear things, give her a little bit of healing. Things like agile flight also in the deck. She can get aerial. So maximizing how much she can spread the thwarting around. So you never waste any of it. You can clear as much as possible, which is fun. Also, I've been using Upside the Head in that deck because she can attack and still spread out her damage, and anyone she damages in that attack will be confused, so you can confuse multiple enemies in a single attack. She's just trying to mess around with Wasp. I think she's just really fun. You know, I think a lot of people have recognized that she's great in shuffling things back in with the mental resource. It's not leaning so much into that. That's kind of been overdone, to be honest, with Wasp. I think that's like the thing everyone latches onto now as her thing. They just camp an alter ego and shuffling back in. And that's great. But this is kind of using her giant form as much as possible, which I think is what makes her really unique. But anyway, I digress. The other thing I've been playing is Doctor Strange. I've been playing a lot of Doctor Strange. I'm a big Doctor Strange fan.
So you do like weak heroes.
Become a big Doctor Strange
He's a big fan of weak heroes. He really only plays them.
Look. It's I like what I like. Okay, I've been reading some more comics. I've been reading a bunch of Doctor Strange, so I kind of got into him. So I wanted to play more. I watched the movie that was good. I watched the second movie and had regrets, but I went back to the hero in the game and to the con that will have already happened.
We don't know.
I built a protection deck and I tried to get all the Midnight Suns in there. So the protection is the aspect you can fit the most Midnight Suns in. So Iron Fist, Blade, Wong, but I'm forgetting somebody. Scarlet Spider is one of them. Of course, Doctor Strange himself. So you can get all those in Scarlet Spider. You don't have to be a web warrior to play him. So that's great. And it's kind of like protecting the table with muster courage and trying to pass out tough cards and protect people that way. When there's a spider at the table, Scarlet Spider can defend for them really easily. So that's cool. Iron Fist is passing out stuns, all that. So it's mostly like around theme. Doctor Strange is good. I don't play Doctor Strange like a degenerate. So there is an invocation deck and there's one card on top. And when that card is appropriate to play, I will play it. But I don't like abuse everything to just get invocations as much as possible. That's not super fun to me. So it just means like, you know, obviously Winds of Watoomb is always a good play, but sometimes I don't need the thwarting, so then I don't play the thwart one. I just leave it there till next turn and I have other cards I can play. I don't particularly enjoy where you just toss every card just to play as many invocations as possible. That's not fun. So, and then playing him that way, which is almost like self-nerfing and limiting to one invocation turn, he's super fun. I really enjoy him. He's flexible. He's got a lot of different things. He feels really thematic. So that's what I've been playing recently, among other things at the con, which will happen or will have happened.
Definitely did.
We don't
Maybe
know.
Happen.
But it either will be fun or was a ton of fun. I'm not sure.
Couldn't say.
Okay. So I think we should move to the card of the day. How are you guys feeling about that?
Sounds good.
There's a good
agree.
chance.
Hearing no
Is that what
objections.
I'm doing on here?
We may or may not have a card of the day.
We do have a card of the day.
This may or may not be a podcast about Marvel Champions.
It may
And
not
we
even
may
be
or
a
may not talk
podcast.
about
It's
card
not
at
for
a
me
time.
to say. All right, so I'm going to share the card on the screen. So, Castle Frank, as you're the guest, would you mind reading the card of the day for us, and then we'll talk about it?
Sure. Chance encounter, upgrade, cost 0. Attached to a side scheme, max 1 per scheme. It's an interrupt. When attached side scheme is defeated, search your deck and discard pile for an ally and add it to your hand, shuffle your deck.
Yeah, and it is, of course, an energy resource if you choose to spend it. This is... Okay, I have a lot to say about it, but we'll get back there. Let me just say, first of all, do you guys know what pack this came in?
It came in oh, now I know why you're asking that question.
I do know.
I saw the diamond or the solar gem.
Every time. It's Vision, of course. This came in the Vision pack, so I always knew I liked this
Best
card.
thing about the pack.
That's right.
That's not going to get you invited back, Castle Frank. Let me just say it right now. One and only appearance.
Make it count.
It's yeah. So the art in this one comes from Secret Empire, Volume 1, Number 6 from 2017. And speaking of art, Andy, what's happening here? What is this?
Yeah, so
what are we looking at?
This is Daredevil looking down upon some unsuspecting minions with vans that look like the same kind of vans that you saw the Tracksuit Gang in the Hawkeye series, but comic book style. And they look to be guarding some cardboard boxes. And it looks like he is about to go in and wreck shop.
Now, I'm going to take a small issue with one thing you said. You said they're unsuspecting goons. I think if you're a goon, aren't you just always a little suspecting? Like, you're a goon in New York City. My guess is you're not too many degrees of separation away from someone who got their ass kicked by Daredevil already. So, aren't you expecting it, LT?
This is a family show.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
First of all,
someone who got their assess the situation kicked.
There you go.
Thank
Second
you.
of all, I think you have not seen enough superhero movies because goons, cronies, crooks, henchmen, whatever you want to call them, famously do not see it coming. Famously don't suspect it.
Embarrassingly, I would say.
And sometimes they don't even know who it is that's getting them. If you live in Gotham City and a guy dressed in black drops on top of you, you don't ask who that is. You know who that is, man.
You got.
If you live in Hell's Kitchen and a guy with a blindfold comes out of the darkness and hits your friend in the head with a billy club, I'm not wondering who that is. I'm stepping. I'm leaving. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
I'm
think
not
you always just kind of hope that they're going to go for the main villain and just leave you alone to do your job, you know?
It's like not in my backyard.
Get paid enough for this.
Yeah,
just warm up.
Absolutely.
He's just stretching. These guys, they're watching those cardboard boxes pretty hard. And I think Daredevil's going to rough them up a little bit.
Yeah.
So the art, I think this art is pretty good, actually. Castle Frank, what do you think about this art?
I'm not a big, I'll be honest, I'm not a big art aficionado.
Oh, man, I thought he was about to say he wasn't a big Daredevil fan.
No, absolutely not. No, when Daredevil finally comes out, I'm going to play him for a month straight.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think it's pretty good art. I like the black suit for Daredevil with the little horns. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the black suit. And yeah, I'm 99% sure that this is supposed to be the Tracksuit Mafia because I think they use the Moe's delivery service in the comics, if I remember right. But I could be wrong on that. So overall, I would say it's probably a 7 on the art.
Okay. I think this art is pretty strong. Now, I do find it a bit awkward that it's cropped so you can't see his arm or his legs. So I don't know if he's like mid-jump. I don't know if he's hanging from something. I don't know if he's swinging.
Hanging. That's the vibe I'm getting.
That's the vibe I get, but it's not entirely clear. It's like Beast when you couldn't see his one arm on the card and we had to kind of speculate.
He may or may not be hanging from the ceiling. We can't know.
He may or may not have 2 arms. We also can't know that for sure. Daredevil, I do like the black suit though. That's a good shout out, Castle Frank. I think this is from I don't know much of comics, but there's a Shadowlands series which is coming as a scenario pack. I think that's the suit he wears in that, or maybe he wears it outside of that as well. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it looks dope. I will say that. This is a pretty sweet suit. It's way more menacing than the regular red, and certainly better than the yellow nonsense that he used to wear.
I think the yellow is kind of fire. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think just the way the vans are positioned kind of mirror his body. So the leg and the lower and the head and the upper the lines are intersecting really well with him to kind of direct us there. I think it's good. Andy, you have anything to add here?
You know, I definitely am with you of the art feels fun in just the art itself. I'm sure as we get into context with the card, I'm a little confused, but I'm going to toss a question to Castle Frank just because I don't know real well and I haven't seen any of the shows or movies. But as what I'm guessing is a fan of the Punisher, does Punisher like or dislike Daredevil?
I would say it's like a mutual. I would say I don't think that it's really that easy.
Okay.
I think he respects what he does, but he hates how he goes about it. They both do.
That makes sense.
And I think that he respects him looking out for people, just wishes he didn't go about it the way he did. And, Frank Castle's the same way towards him. Like, well, if you just shot him, all of his problems would be alleviated. Like, we'd be done. I'd be at home,
There's no
like,
tracksuit mafia.
Going on to the next guy.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I don't think it's as easy as whether they like each other or not. I think there's like an admiration for, he's a hero, I'm a hero, or, well, they don't view themselves as heroes, but he's out helping people.
Yeah.
He just goes about it wrong. I don't like his style, but I like what he stands for.
But
that kind of thing.
I will say, to bring it back to the card, thank you for my answering, because I was just kind of curious. The card, when I get it in my hands, like the art is cool and it's unique to that card. Like, I don't think any other card, if I see it, gets mixed up. You know how there's some where the art and the color and the layout are all similar enough that it's like, oh wait, I have to reread this. I actually had that problem the other day with Scarlet Witch where I thought it was depth focused, so I exhausted it only to realize it was the Sorcerer Supreme. And it was like, oh my goodness, those cards are so similar. But here, when that comes in, that's Chance Encounter. There is no other card with that kind of style to it.
That's
a good point. I agree.
Yeah, I think for me, the art it's not like spectacular, like Castle Frank said, but I think it's good. It almost feels like the blacks almost feels too dark with the yellow. I feel like it clashes a little bit with like the Justice yellow, which isn't an awesome yellow, if I'm being totally honest. I think
like every caution sign on the road.
Yeah, it's just a little like, I don't know. It's a little garish for me, just the color itself. But outside of the colors, I think it's just solid. I think it tells thematically what the card is. I get that to an extent from the art. I'm a little confused by the trait. Like, that this is a condition seems a little weird.
Well, those henchmen are going to be in critical condition.
They are about to be in critical condition. Touché, sir. 5 points for Gryffindor on that one. But I don't really understand how this is a condition. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like it, since it's a chance encounter, it can't be a preparation, right? Because that goes against the title. Although it feels kind of like it could be a preparation, just like mechanically. Is anyone else confused about the trait, or is it just a me thing?
So I will say, like, the condition trait is the one that I probably have the least amount of like bearings with, because it feels like it's on so many of them. Whether it's, heroic intuition is also condition traded. I don't know if heroic skill, conditioning.
But
wait,
the 2 cost is a skill. The 3 cost is a condition.
Where it's like, is it? I could not tell you why those two are different traded when they do pretty much the same thing, but one assumes that I've like done cardio for my longevity. So conditions are hard for me.
Yeah, I agree. Like, chance encounter is a condition. I'm just looking through quickly. Also, death glow is a condition. So is assault training. Like, it just feels like a weird flow like water. I don't know. There's like a weird mix. It feels like a trait that we slap on things. I can't entirely see the whole through line. Like Grim Resolve, one of Castle Frank's favorite cards. That is a condition.
I can't wait for the hero that owns conditions as a space, like Cyclops with Tactics.
It's got to be coming, right?
Set.
It's got to be.
Silas
right?
got skills.
At some point.
It's got to be coming. Yeah, so I'm just like a little fuzzy on that, but I don't want to fix it on it too much. I think Thematically, though, does this feel like it all comes together? What the card does with the art, with the name, with everything? LT, is this thematically a hit for you?
That was my big beef with this card.
Take
and I've been
all
waiting
the
for the
umbrage
theme
you want,
section. I do have umbrage. Thank you.
Take it.
I am going to
It's all
take
yours.
umbrage. But this card, the biggest problem I have is the theme of the art. Very cool. Very, like, well, we talked about how it looks like they're going after the tracksuit gang, and he's kind of waiting to pounce on these goons for the right time. But the card effect is that when you defeat a side scheme, you search your deck for an ally. So I would expect the card art to show Daredevil encountering, by chance even, one of his allies, one of his friends, somebody that he's maybe going in for a sting operation and finds, oh, Luke Cage is already here or whatever. And it's just Daredevil. And I've never understood that for this card. I don't know it's him. I'm guessing they're going for like it's a chance encounter that Daredevil is here, but I would argue that's not a chance encounter. Daredevil probably planned to be here. He can like hear you from across the city. He probably knew that they were going to be here and set up here to prepare. He wasn't just like wandering around the rooftops and came across these guys.
Well, he might have.
He might have been, but he can hear everything. So I doubt it. He can hear these guys' heartbeats from like 2 blocks away. There's no way he just doesn't know where people are.
Okay. Castle Frank, is he onto something or is he crazy? Not Daredevil, LT.
Well, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna diagnose anybody.
I know I'm crazy.
He's on fire today.
No, I mean I see exactly what you're saying. The only thing I can think of for chance encounter is that they're implying that maybe in this scenario here, what if there's somebody in one of those vans that Daredevil knows, and that's hence the saving an ally. If he opens those doors, chance encounter, and there's Karen Page is back there, or Foggy's back there, and he didn't know they were missing. Obviously, they're not allies in the game, but that's the only scenario I could come up with for the card, for why it is the way it is. And that's a stretch.
I mean, I think, to me, the way I read it is side schemes have always been kind of abstracted a bit, right? They're not strictly representative of anything the way a minion or a villain is, for example. It's like representing a situation or some kind of a difficulty that is not like as easy. It's a little abstract. So to me, this is like you're going to put this on, and then after you deal with this problem, either an ally stops by or an ally like was in danger and you helped them, or they also saw this thing happening and they jumped over to join you after the fight. I don't think it's perfect. I do think thematically for me, this is a bit of a miss as well. I don't quite get it there, how this is the chance encounter when you do have to play this in advance. It feels like a preparation, right? Because you are preparing, but then the title doesn't quite work with that. I don't know. Andy?
Yeah.
Chime in here.
Yeah,
Does the
I will
theme
say
work for you?
I actually agree with Lazy Titan, and I had placed a bet before we started recording that the issue that Lazy Titan would have would be that it involves allies. So I feel like I've lost that bet because that wasn't his concern, and that kind of makes me sad. But
gosh dang it, if you're gonna make me play allies, at least make it make sense.
That's true. I mean, counterpoint, Andy, come on.
No, I actually do agree that the art, to me, it doesn't necessarily make sense to what the card is doing unless you grant the, like, trying to play out the story of, like, oh, he's going to jump down, and then it turns out that Batman was really there first. I'm just kidding, I think. But, like, you know, you do something.
Batman may or may not be there.
The other
may or may not be Batman.
It's true. The other thing that makes me a little sad about this card is in all my times playing it, that I've never used it to grab Daredevil. Like, I like him as an ally,
Soon, though.
but also since it costs 4, I'm just never going to use it to grab him. But the art makes me want him to be the one.
I know.
You'll get your wish soon.
I mean, man, would it be cool if this just like put an ally into play or put it in your hand and you could like reduce the cost or something, because like you said, you have to clear this right away to have enough resources in your hand to play a lot of allies. Like, often I feel like I'm either trying to hold this for next turn because I don't have resources left to spend, or I'm like, well, I have 2 resources left. I guess I'm going to grab Vivian or something because like I can't grab the one I really want, which is Daredevil, because I can't afford it and I don't want to hold it. That feels bad. So I think there's some timing issues here too that like work against it to a degree. Now it does search your deck and discard pile, which is cool.
That is super nice.
So that helps a lot. Some of these like fetching cards, like aggressive stance, right? Is that the one that only searches your deck? Something like make the call, only search a discard pile. So it's you have to read the cards carefully to know which is which.
Often explains the card.
People say that, and I think it's true. But yeah, I think power-wise, I have a lot to say about this card, so I'm not gonna kick it off. Actually, I am, because this is my podcast. I can do what I want.
You can do what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Shut up, guys. I'm just
big
kidding.
liar guy, huh? Okay.
Yeah, big,
cool.
telling a lot of
cool.
stories here. I really love this attached to side scheme archetype, and I'm really sad that there's only this and followed. That like there are other ones, but they're not strictly for a benefit, right? There's like the protection one that helps you clear something if you defend, and then there's an aggression one that gives it assault, I think. I don't really count those because what I'm talking about is the ones that you attach it, and then when you clear it, you get some benefit. Followed
the
does
side
damage.
scheme is your engine.
Yes.
To doing the
Exactly.
stuff.
And we only have 2 of them. We only have them in Justice. They both came out a long time ago. And I really think when all the minion stuff, like the meta of the game is all minions right now, but I think when that kind of slows, this to me seems like a prime place for the game to start looking at doing things. Like now that player side schemes came out as well as a thing that some heroes have a signature side scheme, love them or hate them, and there's a bunch of player side schemes that are in the card pool now. And then, of course, just regular encounter side schemes. This seems like something that we should be exploring more. Like the designers should really put more stuff here. And I'm a little annoyed that we haven't gotten anything yet. All right, that's all I'm going to say for now.
I will say, like, it is interesting to me, and I don't know where this is in the meta of the game, but especially around, maybe it's just all PTSD from Galaxy's Most Wanted. But Galaxy's Most Wanted and Mad Titan Shadows, Titan's Shadow, side schemes were not to be left out. You needed to clear them when you could quickly. But I feel like that's changed a little bit, where in these later sets, I'm actually kind of okay if a side scheme stays out 1 round later for these effects. So like Chance Encounter, when it first came out, I don't think I ever played with it only until after halfway through the mutant box, when I was like, you know what? The side scheme thing is pretty great. And player side schemes definitely caused this one to come back out. But all of a sudden, now with player side schemes and just side schemes sticking around, this is a much more viable card. And it could have always been that way, but it just feels that way to me now.
I think, Castle Frank, what about you? What do you think?
As far as the power level, I think it's one of those things. I don't like things to be too easy. I do think there could be a little bit more of an effect to make it more worthwhile. But I think I think that's the reason they have search your deck and your discard pile, is you can search for anybody you want. And there's a lot of ways to manipulate that. People who have, like you can abuse getting Honey Badger over and over again with X23, and things like that. But I do agree, I would love to see more of these types of cards. I'm a huge fan of doing this. I've done player side scheme decks like when Silk came out, doing Chance Encounter, side scheme, clearing it, getting an ally, putting a Web Warrior into play, then getting to draw off that Web Warrior leaving play, and just doing that repeatedly. It was a ton of fun. So, yeah, I personally, though, I love this card. I use it quite a bit. I wouldn't say I use it. I definitely don't use it all the time, because not all of my Justice decks are designed around defeating side schemes. But the majority of the time, if I'm going to be doing a side scheme heavy or even moderately heavy deck, I'm going to at least have a copy in there.
I think like the minion thing has really grown. And so there's ways to pull minions out. There's things to put on minions. You want to overkill minions. You want to kill them and put them in the raft. You want to kill them and get counters for Hall of Heroes. Like there's all these things that interact with minions. And we do have one way or another. That's the only way to fetch a side scheme. Oh, no, we have the Sentry ally now. Yep, he just came out. And then we have, of course, player side schemes. And Swift Manifold can help pull those out. So I guess we have a few more than we used to. But I feel like I'd like to see more ways to get side schemes into play. And then more things, like something like Recruitment Drive, which is a recent leadership card, right, that reduces the next ally to 0. You could have something like this, like attach it, and then the next ally played is 3 less. Or you could just do different things to really, there could be leadership attachments like that, help play allies for cheaper, or ready allies, or ready in identity, or something. I don't know. I think this is definitely underexplored, and so that's like my main issue here. I like that it's an interrupt and not a hero interrupt, so that you can do it regardless of where you're at. That's cool. It doesn't always matter, but it's nice to not have to worry about, like, I wanted to flip down, but someone's going to clear this, so you don't want to lose it. But I think I want to kind of pick up on what Andy said a few minutes ago, which is that early in the game, particularly Galaxy's Most Wanted, side schemes came out, and we were like, oh my gosh, we have to get rid of them
Never
immediately.
again. Yeah.
Nebula and things like that just really conditioned us to be like, clean it up, because this is going to kill you. And Nebula in particular, right, can just overwhelm you with, they can all come out.
Clear the board every time.
Yeah, or you can just drown.
Who needs the Milano?
Whether it's the maturation of us as players or of the designs on the villain side or what, but I find myself just often being like, well, that's only an acceleration. Like, I don't really need to hurry to clear that right now. It's okay. Or there's some that have when defeateds, and I just don't want to deal with that right now. I'd rather just take an encounter card than deal with the when defeated effect or whatever. So I think it's a balance. Things have gotten better on the design side, but also on the player side.
I also think side schemes used to have more threat on them when they came in. Maybe I'm crazy. I feel like they used to have a lot more.
I don't think you're crazy.
Especially for Galaxies Wanted. There used to be a lot of hinder 2 per player and come in with 3 or 4 per player. And that was playing at the con or something, you pull out one of those, it has 20 scheme on it or something. And it's kind of not manageable, really.
And then the main threat still went up by 2 per player. So
it has a bad thing on it. They used to, I feel like they used to double stack negative things on encounter cards a lot more, where the villain would have a set and they'd have 2 side schemes, and the one was 4 threat and it had an acceleration, the other one was 12 threat and had a hazard icon. And now I feel like they switched the icons where the worse effect has less threat, so you can get rid of it, but the lesser effect stays around longer. But I feel like early in the game they were just nah, if it's the bad one, it's the bad one. Double it up. You can't deal with this card, and it's gonna mess with you. Especially Galaxy's Most Wanted, I think. Ronan and Nebula each have a lot of those big threat, big effect ones that's just I don't know what to do about that.
There's a lot of people out there having flashbacks right now. So if you're breaking out in cold sweats with all this Nebula
trigger warning
talk,
for Galaxy's
pull
Most
over
Wanted,
your car for a second.
So sorry.
Just take a few breaths, breathe into your paper bag. We'll be okay.
Okay, but I'm kind of curious, real quick, while we're talking about the side scheme piece, not necessarily Galaxy's Most Wanted, but I used to feel hazards are always the worst in terms of no one wants extra encounter cards. But it used to be Crisis didn't necessarily feel that bad. Amplify didn't feel that bad. Accelerations, you just don't want most of them. But nowadays, I feel sure, Hazard is still the worst, but Crisis actually now makes me more nervous. And I don't know if that's also because I'm doing a lot of higher player counts recently, but now I'm more nervous when I see a Crisis side scheme come out than if I see an Amplify or Acceleration.
Okay.
Do you all not feel that way?
Now I got to ask. What's everyone's most feared symbol? Andy said it's Crisis.
Well, Hazard, but then Crisis.
Okay. Castle Frank, is Hazard the worst?
I would say, yeah. I mean, just in general. Because again, you don't know necessarily what you're going to get. Obviously, certain scenarios, and I mean, you can make it super easy and put really, really easy mod sets in there if you wanted and kind of thin it out. But I would say in general, that's the one that gives me the most anxiety. But I do agree that would probably be my second. I'm not going to say probably. Crisis would be the one I want to clear most after that. Accelerations I don't typically worry about too much, especially as the player count goes up. I would say when I played solo, though, Acceleration was probably the one I feared the most. Because when you're playing solo and you got to flip down and the threat threshold is 10 and they scheme for, 5, it might be game over. So
Yeah.
it's changed for me.
LT, what's the symbol you fear the most?
I think it's crazy that this was an open book test and you all failed. I think that's wild. I think the fact that no one said amplify is crazy.
Amen.
Hazard is
I was gonna say amplify.
Hazard is like, sure, just another encounter card. Most encounter cards aren't that bad. Amplify is always the one that gets you.
But that's
Every
also
time.
one that I feel like has become a recent thing now that we're doing more, reveal additional boost cards. You know?
Yeah, but now we're doing that. That's the world we live
True.
in now. We get a lot of
He's not
amplify
wrong.
icons, a lot of villains do boosts, and it stacks much faster. You know, like Venom with 1 amplify, that's like 4 extra damage. And
That's
obviously,
true.
as we all know, the scheme is always a triple boost. So making that a quadruple
It's always
boost
a triple boost.
doesn't help.
So for me, like when you play a lot of higher player counts, and part of this could be skewed on player count too. Like the hazard going from 4 cards to 5 cards is like not that big of a deal. Like I guess one player's getting 2, but often they impact the whole table. And if it's an extra activation, there's an ally or a hero that can block for you if it's gang up or whatever. Like that's usually not a big deal. I think in solo, going from 1 card to 2 cards, you're just playing heroic mode, so that hazard is maybe a little scarier, or even a 2-player. So I think as I play more and more, I'm almost exclusively playing a 3 or 4 players these days. I think that I find like less of a big deal. Crisis is a big deal because high threshold on a crisis just effectively means just adding on to the main scheme, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to me, amplify. I'm with LT. I think it's crazy you guys didn't say amplify. Like that's the one I'm like, amplify's out there. Immediately I'm like, all right, we gotta get rid of that.
I think it's because I usually have allies to push in front of the bus. And so, whether you're making it 10 or 12, unless it is a hero or a villain who can sometimes get overkill, or you're playing an expert too, then sure, maybe I'm gonna be more careful. But you know,
I mean, here we reveal your cowardice. You know, now
that's exactly right. Look,
you've shown
just
your
because I
shame
played
to the whole
Professor
crowd.
X after I chance encountered him, it was just a chance, and he forgot to put the brakes on his wheelchair.
That's on him.
That's on him.
Andy, we invited you on this podcast as the new permanent co-host. I introduced you and everything, and I thought we understood each other, that we weren't going to have this ally talk anymore. We understood.
I'm so sorry.
We're with the Red
chance
King.
Encounter.
I know. No,
Man.
we appreciate your diverse views. However, LT doesn't like allies. That doesn't change.
It doesn't change. And you won't change me.
You won't. No, and that we appreciate that.
I have zero need to.
So
I think.
Okay, let's kind of move here towards final thoughts on this card. I'm going to let Castle Frank go last because he's the guest. LT, I can feel, I just have a gut feeling that there could be some kind of a rant here. So I'm going to let you go first. And, go off, King.
I don't know.
Final thoughts on Chance Encounter.
Give you such malicious idea of what I do on this podcast. Percolate's a great word. Look it up in the dictionary. I am going to give Chance Encounter a 7.
Ooh.
I think it's good. I like the art, even though it doesn't really make any sense. But I'm not going to dock the artist points. I'm going to dock the theming points. I think you could have picked better art for this card. But I think overall, it's good. I think if it was on a different card, it would make much more sense. That looks like a Stealth Strike art to me. It looks like good Stealth Strike art. There's a lot of cards that could be, but it's not Chance Encounter. The condition, again, as we talked about, doesn't really make any sense, but condition doesn't really ever make any sense. No flavor text. Admittedly, not a lot of space. However, got to bring it up, got to mention it. It wouldn't be the winning hand if we didn't mention, if we didn't nitpick everything. But I do like the attached to side scheme cards. We only really have 2 of them. I like that they both have Daredevil on them. I think that's a fun theming. I hope that Daredevil does something along those lines. I've hoped forever because I think that would be a really fun payoff for those early cards. That's a really fun way to keep that thematic. Make the Hell's Kitchen guys all about side scheme because we have Jessica Jones. Daredevil's on both of these. I think that's a fun little thematic thing we could do.
Okay.
We'll see.
He's on Skilled Investigator too.
He's on Skilled Investigator. See, they care about side schemes. That's what they do.
They do.
But I don't like allies, primarily. That's the number one thing. So to me, this card just says, when attached side scheme is defeated, draw a card. which is not that good. And allies aren't even double resources, so I'd actually rather just draw a card. And most decks I play only have one ally because they make me, and I don't play Justice that much. So this card doesn't get played by me a lot. I do like it, and I understand that it's good. I like that you can put it on a side scheme, and then someone else can defeat it, and you can go find your ally. If you're able to play out of turn somehow, I like that part of it. I wish it kind of was whoever defeated the side scheme, but I understand. I don't know. It's a fine card. It doesn't get played by me, and it doesn't get a pass for the art not making sense. But I can't hate on a good design. You know, I can't bring my bias into everything.
That was good.
You know, I really want to like this card. I want to give this card an 8 out of 10. But I actually think this card is closer to like a 4 out of 10 for me. So I'm going to hit it somewhere in the middle and give it like 5.5. It's just over a middle for me. Like, it is a card. It can be played. It can be useful sometimes. But if I'm honestly evaluating the card, you know, the art is fine, unspectacular. There's no flavor text. The theme is a little muddy. It isn't super clear to me. And as much as I want to like this card, when I build a Justice deck, it's usually one of the first ones I grab, but it almost never makes the final deck. Like, it's rare when I get to a final, 40, 42, 43 cards that I play that this is still here. And I just feel like it relies on a bunch of different things that I can't always control. I need to have a side scheme when I draw this into my hand. I need to have an ally that I really care about getting back into my hand. I either have to be okay holding that and drawing one fewer card, or have enough resources left to still play said ally. There's a lot of different things I need to do when I could just like play an event or something that's going to move the board state along now, or just play an ally, right? Like, so I don't know. I like the idea of it, and I would like to like it more than I do, but I think it's like a 5.5 for me. I don't love the execution on pretty much any category that we usually go over here, so it's pretty mid to me. I already said Castle Franklin's going last, so Andy, that means you're going third.
I don't even
your final
know
thoughts
how
here.
to feel about what you just said. No, I'll definitely, to me, this is an 8. Like, I think this card is so great because you can fetch the ally that you need. And as weird as this is, I actually like that it's add to hand, because a lot of the Justice allies don't have enter plays effects. They have when played from hand effects. So this leans right into that ability. And then the other thing that I like is that it tells me to shuffle my deck, because I forgot the rules of which word means I can do what for what and shuffle. But just in terms of, one, I love that it allows for this archetype. I would love to see Cyclops style attachments or upgrades happen for side schemes of like draw 2 cards, heal 3, whatever it is. I think that would be super fun, but this definitely, I think fetching the ally you need and then having player side schemes now, so that not only are you getting the super awesome effect of the side scheme, you're also bringing an ally to hand. I think there's a lot of power that this card now has post player side schemes. I think before player side schemes, I'm with you, like, card might make it out, might not. But now in a world of player side schemes, I'm giving this thing an 8.
Well, before you go, I do have to just interject quickly and take a little bit of issue with Andy's assertion that most of the Justice allies have when played from hand effects.
Is this not true?
As far as I can tell, that is not true. Let's just go through very quickly. Winning handers, you're used to hearing us go off of tangents. Agent Coulson, when enters play. Blindfold enters play. Let's go down. Dazzler enters play. Eros, played from hand. Fair enough. Keep going down. Manifold enters play. Monica Chang enters play. Quasar enters play. Sentry enters play. Okay, well, your first episode's not going so great, Andy. I was
say not only you're invited onto our show, we bring you into the family.
And
we bring you into the family on the day of my 9th episode, and you come in and you get it wrong. You're not even like morally wrong, like you play allies. You're just factually incorrect. And that ain't right.
Let's see.
So, like, I'm going to have to take
The
that
Redfather.
in. I don't know what allies I'm looking at because, like, and maybe it's like Spider-Man, right? When played from hand.
That's true.
But-
Spider-Man and Eros are the two that I can tell.
There's definitely, I'm going to have to look because there is an aspect out there where it's like, I remember when trying to make the call for other people's allies and just seeing when played from hand on all their things and being like, what the heck is make the call good for? So I'm
It's a
going to need
sample
to check
size
that
issue.
out. It is a
Mhm.
sample size issue. That's my problem. But
Yeah.
I'm really just the Red Skull of the group at the moment, just trying to spread
Statistically
lies.
irrelevant. Okay,
No.
let's go on to Castle
Frank.
Frank. Castle Frank, sorry for that detour, but I just couldn't let that stand. So
I understand.
Go ahead.
Sometimes
Why
you
don't
just
you give
gotta,
us
you know,
a
call
score
people
and
out.
final
I get
thoughts?
it. So me, I got to go 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't think it goes in every deck, but I think the decks that it goes in, it works extremely well. I think what Andy said is something that I think some people miss. It's not that you have to look for one ally. It's just finding the right ally for the situation. And that can mean a lot of different things. Maybe it is finding Professor X because you need to confuse and you need to flip down, or Dazzler or whatever. Or maybe it's finding somebody with a tough because you're fighting a villain that's got, like Venom, who's got a bunch of boost cards.
Mhm.
And now you've saved yourself for that next turn. So I think it has a lot of versatility. And I think even though it doesn't have, I'd love it if it was reduced that ally's cost by 2. I still think that there's a lot of ways to make it work, especially when, like, we just had the conversation about not, we're okay with leaving side schemes. If you're okay with leaving that side scheme, you can play it, and then the next turn, clear it when you've got 5 cards in hand. And most Justice decks are typically running Skilled Investigators, so then you're going to draw a card on top of that. And now you've got a 7-card hand, potentially, to play that ally that you find. So that's my reasoning for it. Like I
Okay.
said, I don't use it for every deck, but the ones I do use it for, I abuse it.
Well, last thing before we switch off here, then I have to ask all of you because I'm curious what you all think, and then people listening chime in as well. If each of you would just quickly, off the top of your head, give me a Justice ally that you think is just one you really like, or one you think is overlooked, or one you play often. Lazy Titan, don't at me. I'm asking you to go with the flow here and give me an ally. So, Castle Frank, let me start with you. Is there a Justice ally, whether you play it with Chance Encounter or not, that you just think is one you really want to shout out, or for whatever reason?
I would say, trying to
And I'll
think
put you
of
on the spot here.
probably Manifold. I like the
good call.
ability that any player can search for a player side scheme and grab it to hand. And with a lot of them, not a lot of them, but with quite a few having 0 cost, that means even at the end of the turn, you can still play that card. So I would say Manifold. He's not overcosted. You get 4 threat removal out of him if you keep him out. So I'd probably go with Manifold.
Okay. LT, can you shout out a Justice ally that you want to just, for whatever reason, give some love to?
I've always been a big fan of the original 5-cost Peter Parker.
Okay.
Should he cost 5? Absolutely not. That's absurd.
That's a lot.
But he's good. It feels good to nuke a side scheme. He feels really good to cheat in if you can get him in there some kind of way with chaos magic or whatever other way we can cheat allies into play these days. I think that's fun. And I have another bonus rant. I don't know if we've mentioned it on the
Okay.
show before. We may or may not
Bonus.
have. But for those of you who have not looked at the Peter Parker ally in a while, which is probably a lot of you, I encourage you to go look at the art and find how I know that is not Spider-Man and that is in fact a spy.
Are you going to tell us? Or are you going to tell us in the next episode? Or do we have
We'll
to figure
find out
out
in the next
ourselves?
episode.
Okay.
I encourage the
Ooh.
people
Okay.
to go find why I know that Spider-Man is not our Peter Parker and that is in fact a spy in disguise. And I want to see if people can figure it
Okay.
out.
Listeners,
Okay.
Winning
Spies
Hand
in Disguise
Podcast
had
at
Tom
Gmail.
Holland. Just
That's-
ironic.
that is
This
spicy.
is true. But again, not Peter
It
Parker.
is.
Andy R.
Yeah.
Is there a Justice ally you want a quick shout out? Just give some love to for whatever reason?
Yeah. Blindfold and Marvel Girl. I like
Ooh.
both of those.
Okay.
Blindfold, cheap, encounter dark cards. It's great.
I do think one of my stalwart Justice allies is Eros. I think Eros is just like an incredible value ally, right? 2 costs, comes in with 2 thwart. The interplay effect is really kind of like whatever.
Well, it's when played from hand. Specifically.
It is when played from hand. It is.
If only that were true.
Yes, it is when played from hand. That's true. The other one I want to shout out is the Venom, the Guardian ally. I think it's one that's underused. He's got 3 attack, 2 thwart, with 2 consequential, but it's reduced when there's nothing on the main scheme. I think he's super fun, and like in low player counts, it can be pretty easy to hit that and like consistently. He's also just like a really good target for problem solvers and stuff. He's got beefy stats. So I think he's one I like as well. Okay, cool. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff here. Now we have decks. So Castle Frank, you brought a deck along. Andy R,
Yes, sir.
you brought a deck along. And I brought a deck along. We have so many decks. Who wants out? Castle Frank, I'm going to let you decide because you're the guest. I always let the guest decide. Do you want to go first, second, or third for your deck?
You're the first guest to ever be able to choose third.
I know.
I'll go second.
You're going to go second. Andy, you want to go first or third?
You got it. I'll go first. Why
Okay.
not? Let's bring this on.
Then
Let's
I
go
will
shopping with friends.
bring up this deck. If you wouldn't mind reading it to us, and then we'll just kind of talk about it quick, and we'll go from there.
Yeah,
All right, here it
so this is, you're sharing it. Hold on.
I am sharing it.
There we go. Nice.
Sorry, when
This
I said
is
I was
going
sharing it to
shopping
my
with
screen,
friends.
I didn't realize it was unclear, but go ahead.
No, that's okay. So it is Jubilee Injustice because she is the hero who can, the alter ego, who can fetch and grab and play a player side scheme. So
good.
in this one, for allies, we have Beak, Marrow, Nick Fury, Professor X, Shadowcat. And then for events, we have 3 Everywhere All at Once, 2 Mutant Educations, 3 Steps Ahead. For player side schemes, Generation X and Lay the Trap. For resources, just 2 Power of Justices. Supports, 2 Beat Cops. And then 10 upgrades, 3 Chance Encounters, 2 Followeds, 2 Operative Skills, and 1 Skilled Investigator. And the goal behind this is that you can bring out the player side scheme, you can add Chance Encounter to it, and you and a friend can go shopping to help you get an ally out. And then you can Mutant Education, do it all over again. And that way you can keep getting allies for whatever the moment holds. Beat Cops are meant to help you so that when this is later in the game, you flip down, Mutant Education, get it out, Beat Cops help you finish it. And then, yeah, grab that ally. Grab Professor X till your heart's content. But that's kind of the core behind this.
Yeah, this is 42 cards, I noticed.
Oh, what did I do?
But that's okay, because there's an easy 3 cards to cut here. Because Everywhere All at Once requires you to be aerial. So
No.
I think I can pretty easily get this to 39 for you.
And then
I could get you from 39 to 34 pretty fast.
3 multitaskings back in there. 3 multitaskings.
No, it's
I'm
fine. I'll get you
teasing
back down to 38 then with our total count, because I can see at least 5 cards we can cut.
I think I know which ones he means.
I think I can see those.
They're alphabetically organized, actually.
This is
Man.
cool. I like Jubilee a ton, obviously. I think 3 Steps Ahead is like a really good card for her, just straight up.
Yeah.
I think Lay the Trap is in almost all of my Justice decks these days. Like just having
so
the
good.
ability to convert threat mitigation into damage, whether it's mid or late game, doesn't matter. Damage all spends the same. Generation X is great. Mutant Education, also awesome for her. That's one that I will use for shopping spree if I need to, but I'm usually recycling her double resources if I'm being totally honest. Yeah, no, this is just really solid. Lazy Titan, Castle Frank, any thoughts on this one?
I'm intrigued by 2 Beat Cops. I don't see that as a multiple card a lot, but I appreciate the all-inness.
I think it's because the starting threat on shopping spree specifically, which
Just
comes
2?
in with a flat 2, so 2 Beat Cops can just clear it.
Okay.
There's limited ways to clear from shopping spree, and Beat Cop is one of the ways you can get around like the requirement. So I could be wrong, Andy. I shouldn't speak for your deck, but that's
No, that is exactly right. Beat Cops are one of the few ways that you can do it without exhausting an alter ego.
So it's tech. I see.
It is.
I think it's weird that the followed art maybe should have been swapped with the Chance Encounter art. When I look at Chance Encounter, it kind of feels like he's following those dudes in the van, but like,
Yep.
I digress. Castle Frank, any thoughts on this deck here before we move to yours?
I'm not a big Jubilee fan, again, to burst your bubble boom guy.
Wow.
What?
I'm betting
Betrayed.
1,000 today.
Castle Frank chose
It's just
violence
like,
today.
You're not
This is-
coming back for sure.
This episode's
Level
getting cut
of
short.
betrayal has never been
Yeah.
seen before.
I don't know how long you've been talking for this episode, but all those minutes are getting cut for sure.
God. All right, that's fine.
The deck looks really solid, though. I love the idea of using Beat Cop to clear a shopping spree. I think that's genius. And using Mutant Education, a huge fan. I didn't like it much when I first when I first started playing the mutants. Again, when I was playing solo, I wasn't going to AE that much, but being able to shuffle back in whatever you want, including her player side scheme, is huge.
Yeah, because she can only search it from her deck. So, okay, awesome. Well, thanks, Andy. The first person to share a deck in the triple deck episode.
Ooh,
oh my gosh,
special.
Whew. Castle Frank, you are going second, as you said.
Yes,
so we are going to share yours. If you would read it for us, please, and then we'll talk about it.
Yep. All right. So this is a 100% chance of chaos. Chose Scarlet Witch. 43 cards, which is my minimum for Scarlet Witch with using Spiritual Meditation. She's always 43 or more. Allies, I got Hope Summers, Manifold, Nick Fury, Sentry, Swordsman, Wiccan, and Yellow Jacket. For events, we've got 3 multitasking and 3 spiritual meditations. Player side schemes, we got Build Support, Evaluate Threat, Generation X. The 3 basic doubles, we got Avengers Mansion and Quinn Carrier for the supports. And then for the upgrades, we've got 1 Blood Gem, 3 Chance Encounters, Heroic Conditioning, Skilled Investigator, and Sorcerer's Supreme.
So give me what's the idea here?
So the idea of this deck, this is something I've been playing. I've got numerous different versions of this deck. I've been playing it for probably a year. And the entire idea of this is putting Generation X out and putting Chance Encounter on it, clearing it, getting Chaos Magic in, alleviating the concern that everyone here has, and playing your ally for free, whoever you want. It also works with Hope Summers, because it's when she's played from your hand and Chaos Magic lets you play her from your hand, so then you can grab Hexbolt, and then you can also play Hexbolt on top of that. That's the main idea of the deck, but it works for the other allies that are in here too. You can grab Swordsman as an emergency defender, has Piercing. You can grab Yellow Jacket to then find you another Chance Encounter if there's more, side schemes in play. And then my original idea for the deck was actually using Husk and keeping her alive. So that was the main way of getting her out, was Generation X, and lean more into the mutants since Wanda is sometimes a mutant, but not always. And that was the original idea for the deck, and I like this one better. It flows a little bit better.
I like this a lot. I think your collection of allies is really cool. I like that so many that are pulling things out. They're like searching, like Manifold is searching, and Sentry searching, Hope Summers. Like they're pulling, and Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket's one of my low-key recent favorite allies. I love Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's just really fun, especially a deck like this where you want to get some of those like Chance Encounters back again. You want to cycle them through. Magic Shield's another one, like those 2 that you're going to constantly have in there, those upgrades. So it's a good way to find them. No, this is really cool. I like this. Thoughts from you too?
Yeah, they're about the same. Like, love the combo with Chaos Magic, and I'm glad that Hope Summers can be another when played from hand card. Like, I've got to figure out why I believe a ton of those allies are that way. But my hurt pride aside, I feel like this is a great deck with lots of combo and engineering around side schemes, but I love that you don't necessarily have it as like, I'm going to do a ton of attachments to a side scheme and then let the side schemes. It's that they all trigger something that's going to trigger something else, whether it's Yellow Jacket into an upgrade that you might need, or whether it's going to be Manifold to find the side scheme that you want. Like, that's a cool hopping between the cards as opposed to circling.
Yeah. No, I like that. It's Manifold and Sentry, for example, right? You're going to clear a side scheme, get another side scheme out. Just going to keep the virtuous circle going.
I could see how our Castle Frank is a man after my own heart. A man who loves a combo, loves a chain, loves to get a lot of cards integrated. I think that's cool, and that is a way that I can allow allies to be played. I sanction this deck as
Appreciate that.
This deck
has been blessed.
It has been blessed by the Red King. It is allowed. I will have no objections to playing this deck.
I love
That
it.
means he might get invited back now.
High
Or
praise.
not cut.
I really have to fight Boom Guy
Man.
for it. I promise I'm here for you, man. I'm gonna do my best, but he's already been texting me on the side like it's bad.
Vision,
we
Jubilee.
can't have you back.
I don't want to read those texts.
No, you do not.
No, that was good. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing that. I will share the last, the leftovers here. I will share my deck. Now, we did talk early on, Castle Frank, about, and Andy even brought it up, so I was surprised and impressed, the decks it used to be known for. So I specifically used a card that I think you have a great affinity for. This is
Gunboat.
a 40-card Nightcrawler Justice deck called the Nightman Cometh. It has Dazzler, Deadpool, Professor X, Sync, and Wolfsbane. 2 copies of Clear the Area, 3 copies of Gunboat Diplomacy, the aforementioned, 2 copies of One Way or Another, 2 copies of Turn the Tide. It includes Build Support, Moira McTaggart, X-Jet, Weapon X, and then 2 copies of Chance Encounter, Heroic Intuition, Prism Dust, Ready to Rumble, Skilled Investigator, and X-Gene. So a lot of stuff going on here. Right away, you'll notice there are no double resources. We went light on the resources. He has a resource generator in his kit for events, so we're pretty event heavy. Also, if you're talking about the theme, this is of course a yellow deck because it's Justice. We do have a picture that goes with the title. I don't know how many of you are into It's Always Sunny, but if you are, the title and the image, all that will make sense to you. It's very event heavy. It's pretty cheap and fast. It's meant to be a Gunboat Diplomacy without like maximizing and being crazy about it, right? You're just going to have one X-Men in all the time, Nightcrawler. And ideally, Deadpool is the one who comes in and stays the rest of the game. And then, you have other ones that come in throughout the game. Wolfsbane, Dazzler, Professor X may be here at various times. And if they are there when it's time, you can exhaust them with Gunboat Diplomacy. It's not meant to maximize Gunboat. It's just supposed to use it when it comes in, when it happens to be in your hand and you can use it, right? Like 1 for, even if it's only 4 or 5, that's still really, really incredible efficiency. Right? I know the Gamer Greed tells us, like, unless I have Heroic Intuition and Conditioning and Mission Training on the ally and, like, it's not worth it. But it's worth it even if you only just, like, 1 for 4. It's still 4 threat and 4 damage for 1 cost, which is, like, an incredible return.
Pretty good.
That's so good.
So, yeah, it's just meant, Prism Dust is here for some theme. It makes me feel like Nightcrawler when he's bamfing around and, like, confusing and throwing pocket dust. It just, like, feels like him to me. So some of the stuff's in there.
Pocket sand.
But it pockets in. But yeah, so one way or another draws us cards. Clear the Area draws us cards. So, Skilled Investigator. So all these things are getting us cards. I never had a problem with the resources. I didn't miss the doubles. So, yeah, that's the Nightman Cometh. Thoughts from either of you 3?
Yeah, I'll give one that has nothing to do with anything that you just said. So, Clear the Area used to be in like every deck, similar to One Way or Another, right? Used to be in like every deck. And then all of a sudden, as we get these great tools, these cards fall out of favor. When I saw it there, I was like, man, I do miss using Clear the Area. I need to bring that card back out.
Are
that
you not playing
sounds
Clear
awesome.
the Area?
No. Do you?
That's my number 1 card I put in any Justice deck.
Oh, man.
Really?
I left it behind like 5 years ago.
It draws you cards, man.
It does raise cards.
It says the magic words on it.
It only there's 2 threat though, so like that's part of the issue, I think. Especially higher player counts.
Part of that is that really the only people I play in Justice are Colossus and Nova, so it's maybe a smaller sample size. But I'm shocked to hear that you're not playing that card.
Yeah, no, it's been years. Anyway,
Anyway.
The deck is great. I'm excited to play it. I think Gunboat is great. I'll be curious to hear how Castle Frank, because like I do deem him the Gunboat diplomacy guy.
He's the expert.
And so I want to hear his thoughts.
The Dexpert even.
Yeah, Castle Frank. Thoughts. How did I do?
No, I love it. Nightcrawler, I think, was the first Gunboat deck that like really got some traction for me on, and I think that was due to being featured on here, on your podcast, on Winning Hand.
Oh.
But Deadpool is 100% the ally I always go for with any of those decks. For the X-Men especially, because most people get scared off of him because of the acceleration icon. But if you're exhausting him every turn or every other turn, you don't have to worry about it. The acceleration token never comes into play, and 2 threat stays out forever. So yeah, I love it. I love the little thematics with prism dust. I think that's awesome. I myself haven't been using Clear the Area or Turn the Tide much lately, so it's cool to see those brought back. So, yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, they feel really thematic to me. Like, they do little bits, but that's like Nightcrawler feels to me like he wants cheap things, just a little bit here, a little bit there, bouncing around, and so it all kind of feels on theme. LT, I know this is yellow. Can you still read it? Can you see what's on the screen?
No, I'm actually colorblind. I have no idea. But
yeah.
No,
It all looks red.
It is all that may or may not be the blood rushing to my eyes. The
with
sheer rage
glasses,
I see
right?
from the allies. Rose-colored glasses, or some people call it bloodlust, I think, but it's fine.
Blood rage.
There we go. See? Gunboat Diplomacy is one of those cards that I don't play that much, but I for some reason just kind of like it because I'm a bit of a power gamer, and it is really good and cool.
You are.
And I do like that it requires a little bit of setup. Ultimately, not that hard. I think it's pretty crazy as a card, but I do for some reason like it, even though I don't play it much. But I think this is good. I like the idea of leaning into the theme of the jumping in, jumping out, pocket sand, the whole nine, making sure that nobody ever catches you because you lacking.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught lacking.
No.
Yeah, I don't play a ton of Nightcrawler. He's honestly pretty low for me, but part of this building decks, this experience, is to push myself to try heroes I don't play a ton with. So that's kind of what this is here. Okay, well, that's all the decks. Castle Frank, I want to thank you for coming on, man. Thanks for hanging out with us, chatting champs, and just being an overall good dude. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been great to be on here. Hopefully my comments about certain heroes don't get me banned from the Marvel Champions community, and that I'm not banned from all Discords, and hopefully I'll get a chance to come back.
Yeah, we don't see you on the Discord very much.
Wishful thinking, I know.
Nah, you'll be back.
Just so you don't make fun of Iceman
server
either now.
But I don't see you a lot in there. You're not super active on Discord.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, job gets in the way, and then usually when I get home, I'm with my daughter, and so
hear that.
only get a few of those years until she doesn't want to see me ever again. So
yes, enjoy them.
Taking advantage.
For sure, take advantage of those. No, it was good to see you, Andy. It's good to have you back. Your first episode of season 4, kind of unofficially kicking off, and it's good. We'll be seeing a lot more of you. And Lazy Titan, you were here. So
I was here, and I said words, and that's all I need to do.
That's it. It was here. I was
that's
here.
That's what
too,
I get the paycheck for. So
those royalties, man, syndication is what does it. So thank you all for coming, and thanks everybody who watched and listened. Please take a minute or half a minute to leave a 5-star review.
30 seconds, really.
On the platform of your choice. That's why I said half a minute. Lazy Titan, pay attention, lock it in. And then if you, I would also love to hear from people. If you're listening, if you're still at this late stage listening, I'd love to hear shout outs, your favorite Justice allies. I'm curious what people think. And if anyone can scrounge up some play from hand responses on those allies, please let Andy know, because he is
I'm totally going to do some Marvel CDB searching after this.
Andy R is in shambles, so help him out.
Control F, but worn out.
That was brutal.
Yeah. But all right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next episode. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Later.